Always great catching up with my next guest. I am James Lynch, and this is for Home of Fight. Curtis Blaydes is back here on the program. We're going to get an update on everything that's going on with him, plus there's a lot of news to talk about as well. First and foremost, Curtis, how you doing on this December 4th? I appreciate the time, man.
I'm doing good. Just got home from my workout. Just happy to be back on the show.
Yeah, well, thanks for making time as always. I think I probably interviewed you more than anyone. I think you and
Really?
I know Court. Yeah, if I was thinking about this before we hopped on here today. Like, I think out of any fighter that's in the UFC, anyways, I probably interviewed you the most. So I always appreciate you making time, man. We go back to the RFA days, right? I think that was over a decade ago. So
yeah, goddamn.
Yeah,
there you
I know.
go. Reminding me how old I am.
Oh, no, we were just talking about this off air. Like, we're both getting really old. But anyways, no one wants to hear our life story here. How are you doing? Because I know the last time we spoke, I believe you went under the knife again. How's the recovery going? I believe is your knee, if I'm not mistaken.
It was actually both my knees.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Both my meniscuses. I had a bucket handle tear, which it's not like a wild injury, but it does happen. I've always had bad knees, and after that last performance, I was like, I need to get these fixed. I didn't have my usual bounce or my explosion, so that's what made me hurry up and do the decision. And I feel great. I wish I had done it earlier. I wish I had done it a year ago, but the recovery's going great. I've been back in the gym since beginning of November, so it's been about a month now. And workouts are going great. Still got to get the weight down. I did gain a bit of weight during the recovery just because I wasn't able to because I got both my knees. So I wasn't able to do anything. But it's going great, and I'm hoping to get back in the octagon around March, April. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that all sounds good. Glad to see everything's kind of going according to plan as far as like the recovery and all that too. I saw, I'm sure you saw this as well, and I actually think you responded to it, but I saw Waldo Cortes-Acosta sort of called you out, but he, looks like he's got a fight coming up here instead. So.
Yeah. I thought it would be either him or Pavlovich, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm just waiting to hear. I guess we'll see after they have their fight. Maybe I get the winner, maybe a rematch with Derrick Lewis, or I finally get in there with Waldo.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see who the opponent ends up being at that point as well too. At this stage in your career, like you've had fighters. I mean, you've had a lot of matchups. You've fought pretty much everyone in the division. Do you get like offended when a fighter calls you out, or do you just look at it as like, hey, it's part of the business? Like when you heard Waldo say that, what was sort of your reaction to it?
I was a little, not in it, just like more taken aback. Like that's a big jump. There's a big difference between the bottom half of the top 10 and the top half, and I've been top 5 since 2018, and there's a reason because there's levels to this, and I just think I'm a level above him. But more props to him. I don't have anything against him, bless you, but
yeah, no problem.
I respect it. Like he's on big, he's hunting the big dogs, which is commendable. But I like the matchup, and yeah, hopefully if he's able to get past Derrick, we get to dance.
Yeah. So we'll see if that ends up happening. And by the way, just to clarify something, because I've heard some people mention this, and you told me this in another interview, but the knee injury that you had, that you ended up getting surgery on both knees, that was an injury you had prior to your last fight. Because a lot of people looked at that fight. I've even heard people being like, Curtis is on the decline, but I'm like, you had an injury that I don't think a lot of people were aware of.
Yeah, because I'm not one of those guys who like. There are guys who make it known like, yo, I broke a bone, or I did that. I don't want any excuses. I took the fight. I knew I was injured. I knew I could get around the injury, and I did. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't the best performance, but I know I won that fight, and I know I'm not on the decline. I know this is super cliche, but I do feel better than I have in years. I've been having issues with my knees going back to 2020. I just was like, oh, I'll just tough it out. I'll just adjust. I did adjust. There are certain techniques I don't use anymore. Well, I didn't use anymore because it hurt my knees. Now I have those options again. I just feel like I'm a much more dangerous opponent because I have all my tools in my tool belt again.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, and excited to see what the result of that will be coming up as well, which is going to be interesting. And the other thing we got to add into that context, that fight got moved like 3 times, right? You guys were supposed to fight in Seattle. I think it was on his end, and then it wasn't COVID, but it was something like an illness or something that took you out of it was and that was an Apex card, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, that was the pay-per-view. That was the one
right, yeah.
Pereira and Ankalaev.
That's right. Okay, yeah, because I know it had been moved twice, and then you ended up having to fight him in the Middle East, right? So yeah, okay. Yeah, just making sure because, again, I think people forget about a lot of what's happened over the last couple months. And speaking of things that have happened over the last couple months, this Tom Aspinall thing, like you were in there with him. You fought him twice. I know you guys have a lot of respect for each other. What have you made of the whole backlash to this thing with him not being able to continue and then the way Dana White's treating him? Like, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Because I haven't really heard your take on this.
I mean, I understand, like, people are disappointed. It was a title fight. It had a lot of hype behind it. We really wanted to see. Also, I'm a little, like, it slows down the upward mobility of everyone who's below them because they have to do a rematch. But also, on the other hand, I'm an athlete. I've been poked in the eye. I've never been poked in the eye that bad. I did a stream. I did a Twitch stream where I reacted to it, and I slowed it down. And it was on the drawback. Like, it wasn't the initial post, but as Gane was, like, bringing back his hand, it kind of dug in there pretty deep. And you got to respect Tom. Like, he's not a bitch. He's not a hoe. He's not scared. So, like, if he says he can't continue because he feels that his eye is at the point where he can't see and he might get knocked out when it's only because of his eye, I gotta respect it. Like, he needed time. I don't understand like all the anger. Like, it's not like he's not scared. Like, everyone in the UFC is a lion. Lions aren't scared of other lions. We fight. It is what it is. You might win, you might lose, but you're not scared.
Yeah.
So I don't get all the vitriol, especially out of the fans. But that's one thing I have come to learn. MMA fans, like, especially like the newer ones, the Gen Zers, are very fickle. It's almost like that meme, the Toy Story meme where he drops Andy. He's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. That's how they are. Like, they love you, they like you, they hate you. The pendulum swings back and forth so often. I no longer pay attention. I don't know if I have hate, if I have love. I don't even know. I don't know, and I don't care because ultimately your legacy is what matters. After you retire, that's when you'll see if people really value you.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to find out. You just got to retire. I'm not at that point yet, so I don't really care about what the fans believe. But I think Aspinall, I don't think he was prepared for all the backlash because it was unexpected.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was a lot that went into it, right? Like the Jones fight never happened, and then like the division's kind of been stalled because of that. Like, there's a lot of things that sort of went into that, and it's understandable how people could feel a certain way, like you said with how things kind of went in the matchup. Couple things from that fight though. Did you think Gane? Like, a lot of people felt like Gane was getting the better of him. I know it was a short fight, but what did you make of the success that Gane had prior to that?
It was having early success. Two things can be
true at the same time. Yeah,
true at the same time. He was having success. That doesn't mean he was going to win the fight. He won the round for sure, but it's a 5-round fight. Yeah. And I don't expect us to go all 5 rounds, but Tom, that's the beauty of heavyweight. Derrick Lewis does it all the time. He loses a bunch of rounds and he wins by knockout. That's the beauty of heavyweights. So I don't think the fact that he was winning the early exchanges doesn't really mean a whole lot. All it means is when they do have the rematch, I believe that Aspinall will use wrestling a lot more aggressively. Like, there was a point where he did do a fake and Gane sprawled. He sprawled so hard because you can tell he doesn't want to wrestle. So if I'm Tom, you use that information.
Yeah,
you make him do the thing he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to wrestle.
But seeing like even that short portion of the fight, would that change your opinion on the rematch? Like, would you maybe favor Gane more if you didn't favor him going into the first fight?
No, I'm still split right down the middle because
Yeah.
again, it's heavyweight. It's
Yeah, it's true.
we don't
One shot can end it.
you don't get to judge heavyweight fights the way you judge anything below, even light heavyweight. I see light heavyweights, middleweights have exchanges that at heavyweights somebody's going to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. What did you make too of Aspinall saying that Gane like intentionally did it? Because he has been known. I mean, we've seen in other fights where he's done like eye pokes and stuff. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not in there, but like, do you agree with that, or do you think it was just an accident?
I think it was incidental. I think he was posting out and he posted like this to get space. You're supposed to post like this, but it happens. Like I've done it in sparring a bunch of times where I've posted out, and instead of it being perfectly straight, it's just a little bent. It happens. I don't think it was intentional. I don't.
Okay. And then there's some talk because, you know, Tom didn't really give a timeline. Like he's not back to training full time. He's still dealing with the eye. There is some talk about maybe doing an interim title just because they want to get the division moving, especially what happened with Jones. Is that something you'd be in favor of just to keep things moving? Or do you think they should wait a little bit longer to see what's going on with Tom's eye?
I mean, I never really see the value of an interim because it's not the real belt. So. Right. You're not going to get the respect of the real belt. Now, you get the money. The money's great. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to be angry if the UFC chooses to bless two of the heavyweights and give them heavyweight title money. But in terms of the actual like the rankings and stuff and who gets the next title fight, whoever wins the interim, you're going against Aspinall for the real belt. And if they did do an interim, it would probably be Gane versus Volkov, a rematch.
Maybe. Well, now they're talking maybe Pereira moves up. What would you think about that? Because he just won the light heavyweight.
That kind of sucks. That would screw up the division. I would rather that didn't happen.
Yeah. No, and I get it. And I think there is intrigue to see Pereira at heavyweight. I just think too, like Carlos Ulberg probably should fight him next. It would have been Yuri if he didn't defeat Yuri twice, but I think Ulberg is the fight they need to do. And then if Pereira can eventually move up and do that. But I don't know. I don't know what the rush is to see Pereira to heavyweight.
I think you only get to move up if you swept your division. Mm-hmm. Like when you do, like when Izzy did it. When Izzy pumped up the fight Jan, he had already smoked everybody in that division. All the names, he'd already beaten them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It made sense. And I think there's a rush or a pressure to get Pereira in a heavyweight because he's getting older. How many more years? And he's had wars. He's had some. How long has he been active in like combat sports? 20 years? That's a long time. That's a lot of sparring rounds, a lot of wear and tears. So they probably want to get the value out of him before the body starts breaking down.
Okay, last thing on heavyweight, and then I just wanted to ask you a couple other kind of news stuff. Does it surprise you a bit that Dana hasn't even reached out to Tom since the fight happened? Like, I know he's upset because you know what? I think people forget. Dana had a similar reaction with the Song Yadong and Henry Cejudo fight. I was at that event. I remember doing the presser, and Dana was just like, I don't even want to talk about this fight. There's something with him when it comes to eye pokes, and probably the comments of Tom's dad with the boxing and all that didn't help either. But did it surprise you a bit that Dana hasn't reached out?
He still hasn't reached out? Like
apparently he hasn't. No, according to Aspinall this week, he was with Ariel. So yeah.
It is a little surprising. That does not bode well. So I don't know what it means exactly, but it's not a good thing.
Yeah. You're talking about interim titles. Actually, I know one of your buddies got an interim title fight, Justin Gaethje. He might end up, if he ends up winning, I think he'll be the first like 2-time interim champ. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but what have you made of some of the matchmaking? Because, I think that fight, it's understandable they're doing the interim title fight because Topuria is obviously dealing with some personal things and they want the division to move along. A lot of people, though, feel it should be Arman in that spot and not, Patty or Gaethje. And then we have this Diego Lopez and Volk fight where you've got two contenders waiting in the wings and Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev. And they've decided to just do that fight. Like, what have you made about some of the matchmaking recently?
I think the Volkanovski and Lopez matchup, I think that's the more egregious matchmaking error because you have two guys. Yeah. It's hard to argue against Mozov or Murphy. At least one of them, if not both of them, should be fighting for the titles. So that one, but you know what it is. We want the names.
I think they really want Lopez as champion too, because like the fact that they're giving him another shot, and I get it because he's he represents Brazil and Mexico, right? So they always go to those markets. That's like a big thing. But I think what makes it tougher is again you've got contenders waiting in the wings. So That's where things are a
I
bit
think
interesting.
over the years we've been moving away. Like I've always felt that the rankings, they don't mean nothing. Well,
No.
not they don't mean nothing, but they don't mean exactly what they mean. This sport is also entertainment, and sometimes entertainment goes over merit.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Saying that though, do you think your buddy Kamaru Usman's going to get the next title shot? It's looking that way. Just the way things are playing out, it kind of seems like that's going to happen next.
That's gonna really piss off a lot of people. But hey,
Yeah.
he's an OG, and also again, he's had a lot of injuries. He's getting older. The company, they want to get those last few
Yeah, a
squeezes
little
out of
bit.
that.
Yeah, out of them. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah,
but
that's good.
we know what it is. Like everyone, you understand why the UFC is making the decision that they're making. You may not agree, but you understand.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So you kind of talked about it there, looking to maybe return in spring, maybe the winner of Waldo and Lewis there. I have asked you about this before, but like, would you hope to fight Lewis again just to get that one back? Is that like a thing, or are you good, like good if you never fight him again?
I am fine if I don't ever get it back, but if the option, if it makes sense, if he beats Waldo, then it makes sense in terms of me beating him, and then that moves me higher up in position to get another title shot. So yeah, I'm. People forget I was winning that first round
Yeah.
handily, and then I made a mistake. I won't make that mistake again.
And then kind of on that note, like, we're coming up to the end of the year, and obviously, like, you're going to be fighting next year. You're still recovering and everything, but you've been able to kind of like look back that you're still in the UFC, man. You've been in this, you've been on the roster for, I think, I want to say since what, 2016. It's been a while that you've been there, and you can't say that about a lot of heavyweights in your division right now. In fact, I kind of take a look at the rankings, like it's a lot of newer guys, but you're still sticking around. Like, have you been able to kind of take pride in that you're still sticking around here?
I was actually just talking about that with one of my coaches. Just because I don't do it often. I like to be in the moment. I don't like to get too like sentimental. That's at the end. You do that when all the work is done, and then we still got work to do. But yeah, I think it is dope. I've been able to turn this into a real like a career. Because when I entered, I had no expectations. I was like, I'll do this for as long as they'll have me, and it just ended up being almost a decade. And I am appreciative of all the right decisions I had to make and the hard choices, like skipping out on things and not being able to party and all that stuff. It all paid off. Even the move out here to Denver. Like when I moved out here, there was no guarantee this would work, and it did work. But it took a lot of hard work and even the little things like being able to consistently show up at all the workouts. Like that used to be an issue for me. Like being consistent over the years, that's not an issue no more. I'm one of the leaders in the gym. I get on the other guys for skipping out or for half-assing workouts, and I am proud of the growth I've made.
Oh, that's awesome. And then I don't know if you saw this. Well, I'm sure you saw it, but Dana White's basically saying like he's not relying on John Jones to fight on the White House card. I think they want a big name like that, but I think just with what's happened with Jones over the last little bit, like it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I think I asked you this before, but do you think he fights again?
I don't. I know he's going to ask for an outrageous amount that he knows the UFC isn't going to pay him just so he can be like, well, I was going to fight, but they didn't want to pay me what I wanted, so can't
Well,
fight.
that was with Aspinall, though. Do you think like if they wanted to put a fight with him and Pereira together, if Pereira moves up, that's a realistic thing?
Again, it'll be the money. I think Pereira, he says hell yeah, because he's like a real fighter. He don't give a damn about the record. He lost to Izzy and then he beat Izzy. He don't give a damn. John, I think that's the issue with being undefeated. You start to value that old next to your record above everything else, and I think that's where he is right now. Which I can't blame him. He's been undefeated for so long. The idea of him possibly losing, it needs to be financially worth it. I think if he does lose, he retires 100%.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you want to fight on the White House? Is that like a thing for you, or are you good if you don't fight there?
I'm good if I don't, but obviously everyone, that's a big card. I would love to be on the card, and like I value the White House. I value the POTUS. I see it as an honor. I don't know if everyone on the roster views it that way, but I view it as an honor to be the first. Like, have there ever been a sporting event at the White House? Like, of
I don't think
any,
so. No, it would be historic, right?
this would be
So
historical.
yeah,
Yeah, I would love to be a part. Like, you'll always be able to read Curtis Blaydes versus whomever fought on this date at the
yeah,
White House.
yeah.
That'd be dope.
And Neil Magny had a good idea because I talked to him the other day. You know, he's an ex-military guy. He said like he doesn't want to fight on the card, but it would be cool if they like he got to like attend like in like in military gear and all that stuff. He said the only bad thing is they'd probably make him cut his hair.
Yeah, he said he would do it though. He
Yeah.
said he would. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, because I've watched his hair journey.
Yeah.
And it's been a long journey. I'm like,
He had I believe he had a shaved head coming into the UFC, didn't he not?
Yeah, he used to rock the fade. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, things have changed. Okay, before we go, always got to ask, how the holidays, are you going back home to Illinois or are you going to stay in Colorado?
No, we'll be here, but I am bringing out my sisters. They'll be out here.
Oh,
they
cool.
haven't been out here in a while, so we're going up to Aspen.
Oh, there you go. You got that's the move. That's the move. That'll be fun, man. That'll be good. And how's your daughter doing?
She's doing great. She loves her
Harley,
new
right?
school.
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah.
Yep. She's got a bunch of homies. She likes to hang out on the weekends. We're taking her to see Disney on Ice this weekend.
Oh, awesome.
It'll be her first experience and mine. I've always wanted to go.
Oh, I think I lost you just for a sec. One sec. I just lost your audio. 1 second. I'll get you back. You were just saying, you were just saying you're taking your daughter to Disney on Ice.
Yeah, we're going to Disney on Ice. It'll be her first time and my first time. I've always wanted to go, so happy to be taking her.
Okay, cool. Have you ever? I'm pretty sure I've asked you this, but you ever been to an Avalanche game?
Yes, once years ago. Years. Are they good now?
Yeah, they're the best team in the league. They have one regulation loss this entire season. So if you wanted to go watch them, this would be the time to go see it. So
okay, well shit, maybe we'll go.
Yeah, I think the UFC should like try and help you guys get like that set up. Like you should be like an honorary guy. I was telling this to Brandon Royval, like, and he knows McKinnon who plays for the Avs too. I was saying like the UFC should set something up where you guys like go make a guest appearance or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be down. I watched the Blackhawks back when we had the dynasty run. I went to all the parades and stuff. But
cool. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Since I moved out here, I kind of fell off of hockey.
You know, the Blackhawks right now have one of the best players in the league. It's like young kid. He's like a phenom. Connor Bedard. Do you know who that is? Yeah,
I watch. You know, when you go on ESPN, you have your favorites: the Bulls, the Bears, the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
And I'll like scroll past. I'm like, okay, he's doing good. And I'll keep scrolling.
He lives where I live. He lives out here in Vancouver. So he's like we like him a lot out here, even though like Blackhawks and Canucks have like a bit of a rivalry. But like Bedard's like lighting it up this year, and it's like really cool to watch. So I'm sure you see a lot of Bedard jerseys out there. That's how cool it is. So there we go.
I've been hearing a lot of comparisons between him and Derrick Rose, which is obviously a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Derrick Rose, yeah, big guy. Hey, Curtis, thanks for doing this, man. Appreciate you making some time. Like I said, speedy recovery, happy holidays. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, anything you want to mention, man, I'll give you the last word.
As always, I want to thank my management, Vayner Sports. I want to thank my coaches at Team Elevation, my wife, and that's it for now. I don't have any sponsors right now. Hopefully next time we'll have some paid sponsors.